Welcome to the video. In this video, if you watch till the end, I'm going to talk about your anxiety. And then I'm going to talk about how to fix it, which is very, very important. All right, so my name's Steven. I make videos, subscribe to the channel, whatever. So, first I want to start with a story. When I was probably about maybe 10 or 11 years old, my dad and I were like leaving football practice. And I gave him my cleats. Like I had a bunch of stuff in my hands. I got my pads and all that stuff. And I went to go give him my cleats. And I said, "Hey, Dad, here's my cleats." And I like threw it at him, kind of. And he didn't catch them. And it like hit him and they fell on the ground. And like everybody was watching. And it wasn't like I was being rude to him necessarily. Maybe obviously I could have said it better. I could have said like, "Hey, Dad, here's the cleats. Like, or can you hold my cleats for me, please?" But I was just like, "Here's the cleats." And I kind of like tossed them over to him. Well, he didn't catch them. And immediately he's like, "Why'd you throw your cleats at me?" Yelling at me in front of my friends and their parents. "Why'd you throw your cleats at me?" Super disrespectful, all this stuff. So he goes to the car and I'm following him and he's like yelling at me in the car all the way home. And then my mom gets involved, right? And I think this particular day it was like a Wednesday or something, and we always had these folders come home from school. Like they were called the Wednesday folders, and they had all of our grades or whatever. So my mom asked for my Wednesday folder when I got home because she's like, "You did this with your dad, blah blah blah. Let me see your Wednesday folder." Now I obviously probably had some bad grades in there, and usually I'd like hide the bad grades. I'd like throw them away before they got access to the Wednesday folder. I didn't get a chance to do that, so my mom got my Wednesday folder, went through it, saw my bad grades, yelled at me for that. And they like to pile stuff on whenever I do something stupid. And so then my mom's like, "Let's see what your room looks like." And so she goes into my room and they're still bitching at me about the whole like the cleats thing and then the Wednesday folder. We go up to my room and my room's a mess. I'm like 10 years old. And at this point, I'm like crying because my parents are yelling at me. They've been yelling at me for like 2 hours now. They look at my room, super dirty. And so I don't know why, but my mom, like, she gets very upset about stuff and doesn't know how to like control it. And I had this bookshelf with all like these Lego sets on them. I used to love Legos, and she just walked over to it and just like threw it on the ground, like took the bookshelf and just pushed it onto the ground, and all my Legos like broke right there, like countless hours of Legos just gone. And that was like my thing as a kid. I loved Legos. And so obviously super upset. I'm crying. "Why'd you do that? Clean up this room," like yelling at me, like slapping me, all that kind of stuff. Now, I want to make this clear. I love my parents. My parents love me. My dad's actually my best friend in the entire world. All right. I have no animosity towards them. And they just didn't know how to parent. And that's okay. Because who knows truly how to actually parent? What that developed into was, and that wasn't the only experience. There was plenty of experiences like that where it was like my parents would yell at me, they'd hit me, like I don't know. Remember, this all stemmed from me like throwing my cleats to my dad. Like, and they grounded me and all this stuff, took away my iPod, took away my video game console, this whole thing. And I guess what that led to was like an anxious attachment style. Now, I'm sure this has probably happened to you. All right, in some way, shape, or form, maybe when you were younger, whether it was your parents, your teachers, whoever it was, they just lashed out instead of just like approaching it and just saying like, "Hey, we don't do these things." They lashed out and hit you maybe when you shouldn't have been hit, and so you were like constantly trying to avoid your parents, avoid your teachers, and avoid getting hit or punished for your behavior. That happened to me all the time. And like I was a pretty disruptive kid too. So obviously like my parents, I wouldn't say they were justified, but like I was an idiot as a kid. Um and so I saw this later in my life as well too. And maybe you've seen this as well. If your parents hit you growing up, or it's like you never knew when you were going to get hit. So you're always like scared. I was always very cautious around my parents. Even still, like I don't really know why. Like sometimes like if I live with my dad, Sometimes like if he's hanging out, I'll like kind of stay away from him. And it's weird because like I like hanging out with him, but I don't know, like sometimes I want to like make dinner, but my dad's in the living room. And I know that like my mom used to like always try to come into the kitchen while I was making food and like had something to say. So I feel like my dad's gonna do the same thing, even though I know he's not, which is like super weird. But I still do that. I still get this weird like feeling in my stomach. And it's because of that anxious attachment style. It's like and me and my dad are super cool, but I get weird like this. It moves into relationships. Like when I got older, I got into relationships with girls where they were like hot and cold. One minute they were like, you know, really like, oh, I love you, or you're cool. Like, you know, I can think of one girl particularly where me and her, we'd see each other and it was like we were just friends, but like one out of every 5 times we'd see each other, we'd get a little bit more like intimate. And so it's like I couldn't really tell, like, is she into me? What's going on? And I ended up getting strung along by this girl for a while. And I was always waiting for the ball to drop. Like I was always waiting, like everybody, I'm always waiting for this ball to drop. And I'm sure you've probably been the same way. It's like something might be going well, and you're like, something's gonna happen. Like something's gonna happen. I know it is, and so you're like freaking out about it. The truth is, our brains are wired for survival. And fortunately, we don't have to worry about the physical aspect of survival. Like there's no bear a couple miles away that's going to try and kill us, or a big weather storm, or like sickness, because we live in a day and age where we have medical, we have nice shelter, we have nice communities, all this stuff. So we don't have to worry about like the enemy tribe raiding our city. So our brain has this conscious need for survival. And so since it doesn't have to worry about the physical, it worries about the emotional and mental way more. It makes little things more serious than they need to be. But more importantly, your biggest problem with anxiety has been the fact that you have not seen consistency in love for your entire life. And so of course you're going to be anxious, because you never know when you're going to get yelled at, or at least by your parents. You never know when you get yelled at by your parents or your teachers. And so you're always expecting that to happen, when in reality, that might not actually be the case. And so a lack of consistency, this is what leads people to drink and do drugs and stuff, because it's like it gives you that consistent high, at least for a while. And then sometimes you just go and consistently chase it and chase it and chase it. And the same thing with like video games. Like video games is easy. I used to drown myself in video games as a kid because it just felt like I was so bad at life that I needed to like have a good life in this made up world. And I would get reinforced for playing video games, but not for living my actual life. Anyway, I want to talk about the methods that I have for fixing this problem. It's not perfect, but I will say this. I've done these things in my life. I know plenty of people who have done this as well and have seen significant improvements. This is stuff that like your therapist isn't going to tell you. Like therapy's not going to help you change your anxiety. Your parents aren't going to help you change your anxiety. You're going to have to do it yourself. So here's the first thing you need to understand. You need to stop telling yourself that you have anxiety. Especially if it's like a serious thing, where I know people who go and tell like new people they meet, like, sorry bro, I just have really bad anxiety. Basically what you're using anxiety for is a cope for being a bitch. That's not fair to yourself. You shouldn't do that. Your anxiety is not real, all right? It's you having too much data in your mind at the same time and thinking worst case scenario. That's what makes you feel anxious. It's not real. It's a figment of imagination. Like the word anxiety, like anxiousness can be different for everyone. It's like colors. Like I can't describe the color orange to you. You just know what orange is. But I can describe on a basic level, like anxiety is essentially this, like it's a data overload. You have too much data, and most of the times that data is negative. something happens and you think that scenario A, B, and C are all going to happen, not D. Scenario D is best case scenario, but you're concerned about scenarios A, B, and C. Odds are most of the times none of those things are going to happen. And even if it does, so what? But you're like, what if this happens? What if, and I do this too, personal experiences. Like I'll say when I get a text message sometimes from a client, sometimes I'll like freak out because I'm like, oh my God, they're going to text me and be like, they're leaving, they're quitting. Even though it's like, they're getting great results, they're happy with the service, we're good friends. And I'm still like, oh my God, like, isn't that crazy? First thing you have to do is like, stop saying I have anxiety. And then also stop using that as an excuse to be a bitch. Because I know plenty of people that do that. Or like ADHD is the other thing too. I don't really believe that most people have ADHD in a clinical sense. I think it gets diagnosed because it's easy to sell the medicine and drug companies make a lot of money off of it. That's my conspiracy theory, but a lot of people have that theory as well. It's not ADHD, it's just you have so much dopamine. Like you have so many thoughts because there's so many things entering your mind at the same time. I guarantee you the guy that lives in the woods and doesn't have a cell phone doesn't have anxiety, or at least to the same degree. And then also doesn't have ADHD. He just doesn't. His brain is so much more peaceful. Like, we don't have that natural survival adrenaline. Like, we don't get the same adrenaline rushes that you would get if, like, a bear was about to attack you. I've experienced this with doing jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. Like, I've never felt the way that I feel in those classes. Like, when I get hit in the face by somebody else, especially if I'm going against a friend of mine, the adrenaline rush that I get is insane, especially when I hit them back and we're, like, boxing each other. That adrenaline rush is insane. I can't be anxious in that moment. I'm there to, like, kill somebody. Because if I don't attack with my best ability, they're going to attack me back. We don't have those things in our life. That's another side tip, by the way. If you have anxiety, just go do jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. So that's the first tip. You're not anxious. You just have a lot of data. You don't know what to do with it. Odds are you can let go of a lot of it and accept that most of this stuff's not going to happen. The second thing is social media. Social media is a killer for anxiety. Absolute killer. You go on there. First of all, Instagram is a highlight reel for everybody's life. It just is. Or it should be, at least. It's basically like your resume. This is who I am. Outside of just like, I had this job and I'm like a professional resume, it's just like a personal resume. This is who I am. These are the things that I do. So obviously people want to look good on Instagram. You scroll on Instagram and it's like, that one girl from college is getting married. This one girl from college is on a trip in a foreign country. This guy that you're friends with is starting his music career. And so you're watching other people succeed while you're just sitting there. Of course it's going to make you feel anxious if you're not doing anything. You're like, oh my God, well, these people are all doing crazy things. And then also the scrolling, you're like constantly looking for something to like hit that dopamine receptors the way that you want them to. And if you've been scrolling for a long time, it's not the same as it used to be. Like, I mean, think about how much memes have changed over the last couple of years. Like, I mean, you can go back 10 years ago. Memes were just like a picture and it was like a funny little thing. And it was like, haha, this is funny, whatever. Bro, crazy enough, like, there's this car right in front of me trying to parallel park. And I was just kind of like, oh my God, this guy's about to hit me. Like that's the kind of, I don't know, that's the kind of thoughts that anxiety brings. But it's like, you know what, screw it. I'm making this video and everything's fine. But anyway, social media used to be so much more simple, and now memes have gotten way more complex and serious. So because everyone's trying to get that dopamine hit. Best thing you can do is just delete social media off your phone. The third tip that I want to give you is turning off your notifications. You don't, like, your focus is how you build things in this life. And actually, when you're focused, it's hard to have anxiety. But you know what ruins focus? Is texts and calls. You don't know how many times I've seen a notification pop up on my phone and I go, oh my God, what's going on? What's happening? And it's not like that hardcore. Like, I don't think like that, but it's like, who texted me? You know? Or even just like in an exciting way too, like who texted me. But I mean, I've had times before where I'll get a call from random number, I'm like, who is this? Or I'll get a call from, or a text that says like, hey, can we talk about something? Bro, you know how fucking scary that text is? I've gotten texts that have ruined my day before, and I'm sure you have too, where you're hanging out having a good time, and then all of a sudden somebody texts you or calls you and says, hey, can we talk about this? Or like, yo, this crazy thing just happened. What's up, man? My neighbor just got out and waved at me. Anyway, and then I said, what's up, man? Like he could hear me. But anyway, so you get out and I'm like thinking about my neighbor now. You see how like my focus just got skewed because my neighbor came out? That's how crazy, that's literally in real time what notifications do. I waved at that guy and now I'm like thinking about it and I'm trying to get back into the state that I was in to record this video. You see what I mean? Little messages, new data will always start to change your anxiety or create anxiety, and your mind will chase that. And so when you turn off your notifications, you grayscale your phone, you make sure you like can't even like rise to wake. You have to like physically press the button to turn on your phone. You can't see notifications. Because yeah, I've had times where I'm just about to go to sleep and everything's fine, and then all of a sudden my VA texts me and says, hey, I have a problem with this thing. I'm like, oh my God, my day, like now I have to like get up, go, and if I had just gone to sleep, it would have been fine. But now I'm like sitting there thinking about it, right? Turn off your notifications. It's easy when it's all about silence. You're anxious because there's no silence. There's like constantly loud noise, there's music, dogs barking, people talking, whatever it is. There's not enough silence in today's day and age for you not to be anxious. The fourth one I want to talk about is to be around better people. You have to find an environment and a group of friends who aren't conditional lovers, conditional friends. This is where a lot of this stems from. I talked about that story at the beginning. Love feels conditional sometimes. And that's going to happen. All right. Some people are going to love you conditionally, and that's okay. Most people love conditionally anyway, to be honest. But with that being said, you have to try to get as many people out of your life as possible that love you under certain conditions. So let me tell you what it looks like to find a good friend real quick. They celebrate your wins with you. They're there for you during your losses and don't try to compare their situations to yours. And then finally, the last one is that they really, truly try to help you with hard situations. Like they're the ones that sit you down. They're like, I know you have a drinking problem and you need to fix it. Those are real friends. You want to figure out who your real friends are? Tell your friends you're having a problem about something and see how they react. Tell them, like, whatever it is you guys, like, if you have a buddy that you drink with, tell him, like, if he asks you to drink, say, I'm not drinking with you. See what happens. If he's like, oh, dude, we better get drunk. What are you talking about? Don't be a bitch. That's not your friend, bro. He just likes to get drunk with you. You're addicted to the same drugs. Find better people to be around. Find people that will be there no matter what. And it's hard to find those people. But you're going to find some people really that are actually there for you all the time, no matter what it is. And the final one is to get primal, bro. Get primal. That starts with breathing, by the way. So just when you're having a hard situation, just breathe. But get primal, bro. Go outside, like climb trees. Go on walks by yourself. Put your phone down for fucking 30 minutes, bro. Go on a walk. Go climb a tree. Go stand outside in the rain. Go like get 2 or 3 of your buddies and like race, like foot race each other. When was the last time you like honestly ask yourself, when was the last time you and your buddy were just like standing there and like foot raced each other? Or just like, I don't know, shadow box, bro. Like sometimes, like I don't know why, like people are like scared to wrestle or like do anything, and people are like, I'm gonna look weird. Bro, we're not in high school anymore. You're not in high school. There's no code that says you have to be a certain way. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do, bro. Laugh. Like in public, I'll say things to people, like just random people that I see on the street, like just bro, like fist bump people. Or like go out and run in the woods. Like just do like human activities. Go literally right now, like action step, go outside, grab a leaf off a tree and like crumple it up and then throw it on the ground. I try to do that all the time. Like every day I try to do that. That's like such a child thing to do. Even like look at the leaf and like play with it a little bit. Pick up a stick. Like when was the last time you like picked up a stick and like, I don't know, like you don't have to like play imaginary games, but like pretended it was like a walking stick and used it like that, right? Those are things we used to do as kids. And then like one day it was like, that's not cool. And so you didn't do it. Bro, run outside barefoot in the mud. Go jump in the mud, bro. Like that kind of stuff right there is freeing. You have this, your anxiety also stems from this, like, I have to be like a certain type of way so that other people will accept me. No, the fuck you do not, bro. Now, I actually just made a video. I called it, I stopped giving a fuck and this is what happened. Go check that out. It's the last video I made. I talk about that. Like, bro, fuck other people's opinions. Who gives a shit? I actually, by the way, that video about I changed, what did I say? I was like, I stopped giving a fuck and this is what happened. I thought about deleting that video like 7 times. And I said, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to do it. Because why not? Just like do what you want to do. Breathe and like go in nature. Like just be outside. Have fun. But if you implement all those steps, all right, if you understand, first of all, that it's not like, stop saying I'm anxious. It's just stupid. You delete social medias, or at least limit your time on them, but I would say delete them. You turn off your notifications. You be around better people. And then you go outside, instead of sitting in your room all day, you go outside, you do the things you want to do, you breathe, you talk to other human beings, you climb trees, you go on runs. Your anxiety will be significantly better. It'll go away. And breathing is like the easiest one, to be honest. Oh, one more final tip I want to give. You can't be anxious and grateful at the same time. So if you're ever anxious, like don't try to push the thought away, because that only makes it worse. Just sit there for a second, breathe, and just think, I'm really grateful for XYZ thing for this reason. Right now, I'm grateful for this video because it gives me the opportunity to improve my speaking skills, potentially help some other people out, and also it like I just burned 23 minutes of my time. It's a Sunday. I'm like kind of bored. I'm about to go to the gym. I feel better. And then you chain those gratefulness things together, because if you do that, you like start to smile more. Like, I'm grateful for my car. I'm grateful for my dad. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my shoes, bro. Like you see how like my demeanor even just changed a little bit right there. Be grateful for things. Anyway, that's the video. Don't do anything stupid. Goodbye.